This channel at this point is all about performance marketing, especially with Google Ads and especially in regards to e-commerce. But of course, Google Ads isn't the only powerful marketing or traffic platform out there. And there is one that is very, very similar actually, but that it gets talked about like way less often. And I'm talking here, of course, about Bing. Now, Bing is something that very, very few of my clients and customers are using when they come to me for my services. And in some YouTube channels and emails, people, talk about that more and more, and they're asking me like, hey, do you have some content about Bing? What's the thing about Bing? How to use that? What's the difference between Bing and Google? In this video, I want to give you an overview on when to use Bing, like does it make sense in your case, give you some more background on the platform and what I think about Bing in general. So if you are using Google Ads right now, or if you're using any sort of PPC or performance marketing for your online business, make sure to stick with me till the end of this video because you will learn a few things about Bing, if it fits your business, and potentially how to really scale your sales and ROAS with the platform. All right, so first of all, first point, why should you care about Bing Ads in the first place? You could say, Google is much bigger, Google is all I need. And yes, of course, you can build a 6, 7, 8-figure business or whatever purely on Google. We've done this several times with a bunch of clients, and that of course works. But Bing, and here's the thing, depending on the statistics, depending on whether you're only using desktop traffic or desktop and mobile, how exactly you're counting it, only Bing or also partner sites, Bing takes around 14 to 25% of the US search engine market. So yes, it's definitely way smaller than Google, there is no doubt about that, but depending on which source you're using, or actually no matter really which source you're using, Bing is never insignificant. So no matter which niche you're in, no matter what you're selling, there are always a lot of people, a lot of potential customers that are also on Bing. And while in Europe, this percentage of people that are actually using Bing is smaller than in the US is probably the target market or the most important market for most of you guys. So you should care a lot about this statistic, and it tells you that you can reach your customers super effectively on that platform. Why am I saying super effectively? Well, as you can imagine, on Bing, you have typically less competition. Everyone knows about Google Ads. Every performance marketing agency or every sort of business owner that tries PPC will probably stumble upon Google Ads rather sooner than later, but not many of them stumble upon Bing Ads. And I see this with my own customers, as I said before. Out of the 200 something I've worked with, like easily 180 or 170 or something like that have never ever used Bing Ads before. So this gives you an advantage if you go into Bing because you have less competitors, which also means less costs, of course, and generally you can experiment more on there, and you have like Microsoft sometimes tends to give you some like good discounts or promotions and all that kind of stuff because of course they want to push their own ad product, their own ad services a lot. So let's get to when to use Bing in the first place, right? So when does it really make sense for you? The first thing, very straightforward, if you are in a mass market. So if you're selling something where there is like millions or hundreds of thousands of searches a month on Google, you can be pretty sure that the volume on Bing is really high as well. So if you're any sort of mass market in the fashion, electronics, personal goods or pets, whatever there are a ton of huge markets. If you're in any of these, it can already make sense per se to use Bing because these markets are big enough that even on Bing you have massive scaling potential, right? So in these markets you can easily make 6 to 7 figures a month only using Bing, not to mention then having Google Ads on top of that. The second point, if Google Ads are too expensive for you in your niche right now, so if you are in a niche that is super competitive, right? I work with clients that are paying $3, $4, $5, sometimes $8 per click because they're in a super competitive market. And chances are that on Bing you pay less than that. That doesn't mean that Bing has zero competition and everything expensive is on Google. Obviously that's not the case, but generally it tends to be cheaper on Bing for the reasons that I already mentioned. So if there's a mass market, go for it. If you're in a very competitive market and Google Ads are very expensive, go for it as well, because chances are that finally you get your cheaper CPCs on Bing. Also, at the same time, if you cannot manage to get your Google Ads profitable, or if you're really struggling, you are like just breaking even or something, always try Bing. Maybe there you will actually, make that leap and really go from barely breaking even or unprofitable to profitable out of a sudden. So definitely worth checking it out in that case. Number 3, and that's very, very interesting, the Bing ads audience, or the Bing audience, tends to be more sophisticated and also older. So all in all, the Bing ads or the Bing audience tends to be older. They tend to have like better or higher education. They tend to be older. So this means they're generally a pretty good target audience for more expensive products, for more sophisticated products, maybe also for like luxury type items and things like that. You can, use that information to your advantage, but basically the audience on Bing tends to be more sophisticated. And also, according to some statistics, the typical conversion rates on Bing tend to be higher. So if you are selling a product that, needs some level of sophistication, that needs some level of like money to pay for it, or something like that, right? It's always a good idea to try Bing, because that could be actually more profitable and powerful than Google. And number 4, and that's actually very, very simple, if you want maximum scale. So it doesn't matter if you're making 400K on Google ads per month right now, but you want an extra 100 or 200 or 150K or something, try Bing for more scale. If you always feel like I have Google ads maxed out, even though in a lot of cases that's not really a thing, like a lot of people come to me and they're telling me, hey, I'm at 20K or at 50K or at 200K a month and I cannot scale further. In the absolute vast majority of cases, it's still possible. But if you really tried everything and it's just too hard to scale to the next level for now on Google, try Bing at the same time and you can get some extra sales, extra traffic on there, find some new customers on that platform as well, so that then you can actually fuel your business with both platforms at the same time. So you're really getting the best out of both worlds, and that's of course ultimately what you should be aiming to do. So now we come to the last part of this video that's actually fairly short, and that's how to use Bing. This video is not really a tutorial on how to use Bing or anything like that, obviously, because it's too short for that. But basically, I want to do a little more content on this channel now, on this channel for Bing now as well, because I see there is more sort of demand for it. And while many of the strategies that I show you for Google Ads also apply for Bing, and same goes for my course, same goes for my personal one-on-one training and services, same goes for my ad management, all those things I also personally apply to Bing, and you can as well. But of course, there are things that are different. There are different strategies. There are different ways of doing those methods and using those strategies, really. So I really want to do a little more content on Bing on this channel. I cannot really tell yet how much exactly and if it will be very regular or something. But I definitely want to post a few videos specifically on Bing and like how to use it and get familiar with the platform and things like that. But of course, I have to be 100% transparent here. The main traffic source or the main platform here on this channel will of course remain Google. What I can recommend is that you at least get familiar with the interface. It obviously costs nothing to register for Bing ads, so make sure you do that, or Microsoft ads. Make sure that you do that. Make sure that you get familiar with the interface. You may notice that it's a little more clunky, at least in my opinion, than Google. It looks a little less modern, and it looks a little more clunky to use, but it's pretty effective. And if you get familiar with it, you will probably have an easier transition with actually starting some ads with Bing. Because I know that it can be quite a turnoff to use a brand new platform, get familiar with it, get familiar with the interface, the metrics, the KPIs, etc. I recommend that you register for Bing ads if you haven't, that you look around, that you get familiar with the interface. Actually, you can import your campaigns from Google into Bing. Doesn't always work perfectly, of course, but you can like try and partly do that. Play around with shopping on Bing, play around with search on Bing, and see what you can do there. That will definitely help. And as I said, I of course will post a bit more content on Bing every now and then, so that you have an easier time actually transitioning into that platform and getting some sales there as well. And last but not least, of course, if you are interested in any of my services, I can help you with Bing ads too. So I have clients that came to me, as I mentioned, only using Google ads, and we not only skyrocket their Google ads in terms of ROAS and sales volume, but also I really helped them from scratch using Bing ads that added another 5, sometimes even 6 figures in volume to their bottom line or to their sales volume. So if you want to learn more about Bing ads, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and that you hit the notification bell, because you will never know, and I will never know either, when the next video on Bing ads will come up, so that you will get notified. And if you want me to personally help you with your Google ads and Bing ads for your e-commerce business, for your online business, make sure that you check the link in the description, where you can either call or actually text with me to find out how I can personally help you grow things to the next level and make it a no-brainer for you, because that's ultimately what I'm aiming for, making my service, making my help an absolute no-brainer for you in terms of volume and profitability. So with this being said, thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope that you learned a little bit about Bing Ads now, and why you should be using it, and that it may be a pretty good idea for your business. As I said before, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Google Ads, Bing Ads, and e-commerce content. And with this being said, I'm really looking forward to see you in the next video again. Bye bye.